My name's Adam Monaco and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
On today's show, we head over to the UK and to Silverstone, the home of British motor racing, for rounds 25 to 27 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Then we head to Sydney Motorsport Park for our continued final round coverage of the Swan Super Series, with the Matrice Stamper Super Sports and AM Sport 600s battling it out for championship glory. This is Speedweek.
Matt Simpson then up towards the grid, and as soon as he slots into place, we are ready to go racing. Can Stephen Jelly join in? And we'll keep an eye not only on these drivers for the championship, but now Jake Hill as well. There is a lot to look for. Race in isolation, how it's affecting the championship, the independent situation, the track conditions. Jack Goff on pole. We are ready for round 25 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship from Silverstone. The lights go out, it's blast off. Jack Goff gets a good start, but Tom Ingram is away well also. So the Subarus. Good start by Ash Sutton, the rear-wheel drive car, but it's going to be Tom Ingram who leads down towards Copse Corner. Ingram leads, Goff second. It is Morgan third, Jake Hill fourth, Matt Neal fifth. Sixth is Rob Austin as Morgan goes way wide coming out of Copse Corner. Ingram leads the way, but Jack Goff fights back as they head up towards Maggots, and then Beckett's for the first time. Look at Jake Hill going for third on the inside line. He can't quite do it. Morgan staves him off. It's Rob Austin fifth, and look at this long line of cars behind as Ingram leads on that one.
Well, an incredible start from Ingram, because the right-hand side of the grid was very much the wetter side, but he got away perfectly, and the smoke seems to have cleared from Jake Hill's car, and he's challenging round the outside of Morgan for third place. A great move. That shows the... Oh, he's got a big slide there on that right rear. The cold right rear has let go. What a shame.
And also Brett Smith was sideways, and behind him we've got a motor-based Ford that got out of shape as well, which I think was Rory Butcher. End of that one. Ingram and Goff are absolutely tied together. Third is Morgan, fourth is Austin, fifth it is Matt Neal, and this is Andrew Jordan's view as he gets up the curb and might have had a tap there. The car got sideways, so he corrects it, but there was a little knock from behind as Jordan heads up towards the timing line. It was Gordon Shedden, I think, that was running with him. Yes, Shedden's on the inside line, in fact, down towards Copse there, and Walter Neal's ahead of Jake Hill, trying to recover now after that slide. But it is Ingram, Goff, Morgan, Austin, Neal, Turkington, the top six. Turkington, of course, ahead of Sutton.
Yeah, we talked about it in qualifying as another move up the inside, going onto the wet side. We think that's Shedden. Yes, it is. Look, it doesn't quite get the move done, though.
Rob Collard is behind as well. Remember, he's 1 point down on Shedden in the championship. He's making progress as Tom Ingram leads the way. 3 times a winner this year. Jack Goff, double pole, but no wins this year. He runs in second spot. And there's news that Jake Hill might have a power steering problem, Tim.
Yeah, well, that could have been the fluid that was coming out and being burnt off, so he'll have to man up if he can keep going. It's not easy to drive these cars without power steering.
Yeah, and Jake's a big bloke, isn't he? You know,
Yeah.
6'5", great big muscles, huge bloke, not. So good luck, Jake. Over the timing line, the leaders go through. Tom Ingram leads the way. Jack Goff second. It's 4 tenths between them. Morgan is third. And look at this. Everybody else in the line for fourth. Aidan Moffat pulls out, has a look on the inside to get past James Cole. Can't do it, but Aidan Moffat's up to 16th. He's made good progress early on in this race. This is the forward view. Shedden not quite close enough to make a move. He's, of course, way down the order. He will lose weight going into the next race, but he also wants as many points as he can salvage. Has a look to the inside. James Cole is right there behind, so Shedden's got to attack and defend at the same time here.
Yeah. Leader's very close indeed, and Goff is just putting the pressure on, keeping as close as he can to rattle Ingram at the moment. This is where the drizzle is supposed to be at Copse. And yes, we're seeing some lines develop on the track. They're sliding about. The track is definitely damp there. You could see the lines going through the water on the track.
So Ingram off the road, he hangs on to the race lead. They're being caught as well by Adam Morgan, who's done the fastest lap of the race. Tom Ingram off the road, but manages to hang on to the race lead. This is now very difficult indeed, because it's not consistent all the way round the lap, and they're on slicks. Yeah,
there could be cars off the road behind them as well at Copse. And it's definitely, there's rain falling pretty much all round the circuit now.
We have it on our window here overlooking the start line. So as the leaders come into Brooklands, look at the gap between the top three and the new fourth place man is Colin Turkington, but Matt Neal's fighting back on the inside line, and he goes through, does he? Side by side towards Brooklands. Matt Neal in the Honda, Colin Turkington in the BMW. He's on the inside line for Luffield. Can he fight back? Can he retake fourth? Yes, he can. Matt Jackson is behind them up to sixth. So Rob Austin has dropped back a little bit. And Walton Eales has got up past him as well. So Turkington versus Neal, BMW versus Honda, rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive, side by side out of Woodcourt. Matt Neal goes ahead, side by side they run down towards Copse. Matt Jackson is in the mix as well, and who is going to gain the place into the right-hander? Matt Neal takes the place on the inside. He goes through and regains fourth position, and that's what Neal's going wide. Jackson is wide, Austin is wide, everybody's wide.
Yeah, well, what happens is that as the track gets wetter, the front-wheel drive cars lose temperature in the rear tyres, and then they get really snaky, really snappy oversteer. And if the water gets worse, that will only get worse for them.
Somebody else making a bit more progress up the order. Rob Huff up to 23rd. Senna Proctor up to 20th. In the other Power Max Racing Vauxhall, slightly different livery for those cars this weekend, and also, in fact, for the BTC Norden Chevrolets as they work their way into Brooklands. Matt Neal ahead of Matt Jackson now, who goes past Colin Turkington. So 1 up and 2 down for Turkington in the last lap. He's got Ant Walton Eales crawling all over the back of him now. The front-wheel drive cars, as the road deteriorates, grip-wise, starting to come to the front-wheel drive cars now. Gordon Shannon into the back of Plato.
Yeah, the rear-wheel drive cars are struggling with tyre temperature, aren't they? We saw Turkington looking snaky. Walton Eales has gone past. Turkington's really looking like he's struggling, and we saw the same from Plato, didn't we?
Now Ash Sutton's at the back of this queue, trying to gain places. Plato wide. Look at Moffat. Moffat's going great guns, isn't he, in the Mercedes? He's alongside Shedden, who has got past Plato, and Moffat's going to get past the pair of them on the inside here, heading into the braking area for Beckett. Aidan Moffat goes through on the inside line. That's 11th place for him. Great effort. He started 23rd on the grid.
Yeah, terrific effort. And Collard was making progress. He made up 7 places from his 21st on the grid. But now that it's slippery, he's slipping back.
And Dave Newsham is going great guns as well, isn't he, in the other Chevrolet from Bert Taylor's BTC Norden squad. He's all over the back of Turkington now. So Dave Newsham looks for another place. As a sideways, Rob Austin has dropped back behind Ash Sutton. And they're very, very wide there. Matt Neal and Matt Jackson come together. There's more contact, and off goes Jackson. Matt Neal came back onto the road, contact with the Ford, and Matt Jackson slithers off. Has that done any damage to the suspension? He's going to fall to the back of the pack, but that all got a little bit leery coming out of Luffield.
Yeah, they were side by side on the apex, and it looked like big slide. Newsham and Turkington getting together.
Newsham on the inside, he's about to go for the place. That's for 5th, and he's done it, Dave Newsham. Remember how well he went in the wet at Donington back in April? He's doing it again here. Dave Newsham is absolutely flying. By the way, Tom Ingram still leads. He's 9/10 up on Jack Goff. Adam Morgan is 3rd. Don't forget about that, because there's this long train now. Ant Walton Eales is 4th, and Turkington is 5th on the inside if he gets it slowed down in time for Brooklands. Has he done it? Newsham's up the curb. Turkington stays ahead. Newsham is next then, and then championship leader Ash Sutton. In real terms, of course, getting closer to Turkington.
Yeah, that's probably why Turkington made that bold move, because he could see Sutton behind and he wants to take points off him. Well, we haven't got time to talk about all the incidents. We never finished the Matt Neal and Matt Jackson incident, but that would look like they ran each other off the road, and then Neal came back on and just collected the back of Jackson, didn't it?
So we're on to lap number 10. This is a 22-lap race. It's still slippy, and look at now, Goff dropping back and Morgan closing up on him, 2nd and 3rd. Ingram leads the way, still doing a very good job, an impressive job in these conditions, because you're never really sure what it's going to be like corner to corner, lap to lap. So lap 10 of 22, we run. There is Ingram out of Brooklands. Second behind him is Jack Goff. Adam Morgan is third. Are we going to get traffic before the end of this race for England to have to factor in? Here's Newsham again to the outside of Turkington. And look at Moffat behind. Brilliant drive. He's up the inside of Rob Austin now. And that is going to put him, into 8th place as he comes into Brooklands. 23rd on the grid, 8th he runs. Fabulous stuff. Great fight this. Brett Smith doing a good job of keeping them all behind him. There's Rob Collard, who surprisingly has not made the progress in this race. He's there behind James Cole. Behind Collard, you've got the next wave of cars being headed by Aaron Taylor-Smith. Now, second and third are together. Adam Morgan has got himself onto the back of Jack Goff. That's good news for Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram had already got the pace of these two, hadn't he? He's been consistently the fastest man lap on lap and has adapted to these conditions very quickly.
There is a driving standards flag for Adam Morgan, so that must be track limits. You could argue it's a bit harsh in these conditions, but...
Yeah, I think everybody's guilty of that, yes. Aren't they? But barely are they in control of their vehicles, so blame the weather, don't blame the drivers.
Well, Morgan is certainly closer to Goff. There is the rather bleak Beckett's as you look across. The National Circuit in use, so they turn through Beckett's, which becomes a hairpin onto Wellington Straight, and then down to Brooklands in front of the British Racing Drivers Club clubhouse. Tom Ingram is the race leader, Jack Goff second, but now having to concentrate more on what's behind than what's in front.
Yeah, and a big gap between these three and Ant Wharton hit Neil Eales, who's still doing a terrific job. Let's not forget him in 4th place in the AMD. Here he is now, though. He's under attack from Turkington, round the outside. Can he go all the way around? There is grip on the outside, and of course it puts you on the left for Luffield, and he's done it.
Turkington on the inside. Ash Sutton tries to go through, but he can't do it. They've got themselves ahead of Newsham, of course, because Dave was ahead of the Subaru when we last looked. So Turkington is up to 4th. Wharton Eales 5th, still on target for his best touring car result. Great little racer, Ant Wharton Eales, whether it's in a touring car or in oval racing. Was winner of the under-25 Brisker F1 stock car title at the end of last year, and now his first touring car season sees him mixing with a double champion, the championship leader, touring car race winner behind him, Dave Newsham, touring car race winners behind that, Aidan Moffat and Rob Austin. So it's a very good job, and it's also great to see Sean Hollamy's little AMDtuning.com team running with the big boys.
Absolutely, we wanted to see more of it. It's a great car, they've got good drivers. We've expected something every weekend from Ant Wharton Eales, but bad luck and circumstance have contrived against him.
So Turkington now wants as many cars between him and Sutton as he can. That is Rob Collard, who is off the road. Safety car is being deployed. Was there another car involved in that? Well, there's not much left of Rob Collard's BMW. That's huge rear damage. Remember, it was here he had that roll a couple of seasons ago. Silverstone is not kind to Rob Collard. Safety car deployed. They'll all bunch up. But that, we need to piece it all together, but that's a lot of damage.
Well, 2014, I think it was, when he clipped that other car and rolled. Oh, and it was teammate Andy Jordan.
Oh, no.
What's happened there?
So this is coming out of Cobbs.
Oh.
So he gets hit by the MG, moves across. Oh, does he go onto the grass?
He's lost the steering at that point.
He's on the grass on the inside, so he's going across the road, isn't he? And he'll get harpooned in a minute.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh. So somebody hit him, and Jordan hit somebody. Let's try and have a look from another angle.
He's lost the steering.
Yeah, so he's out on the
across the grass. He can't stop. Absolutely impossible to stop. And who is it that collects him? Oh!
Will Burns, is it? Yes.
Burns.
Will Burns.
Will Burns. That was the other car.
Tom Ingram accelerates through Brooklands as the race leader. We're up to 25 laps now because of the safety car, and this will be the end of lap number 19. So can he get away? Can he build the advantage? Red flag. Red flag is being shown. The race is being stopped. Now, that is for reasons unknown, I'm afraid to say. So the checkered flag has been confirmed. Race will not be restarted, so let's confirm the order at the end of round 25. Tom Ingram takes a 4th win of the season ahead of Jack Goff, and Adam Morgan on the podium as well. Colin Turkington is 4th ahead of Ash Sutton. Ant Wharton Eales best yet 6th ahead of Dave Newsham. Aidan Moffat started 23rd and finishes 8th. Lots of points in Dunlop's Forever Forward award for that ahead of Rob Austin, and Mike Epps, another great drive up from 24th to 10th. Ash Sutton then is now only 10 points ahead. Colin Turkington has narrowed the gap in the championship, but Gordon Shedden slipped back. He's 61 points adrift. Rob Collard is 4th, being caught now by Tom Ingram. Jordan is 6th, Neil 7th, Goff 8th. Matt Jackson 9th and Morgan 10th in the championship, 25 rounds in. So there is the man on pole, race 1 winner, Tom Ingram in the Speedworks Toyota. Josh Cook slots into position at the back, having had to sit out race 1. So the green flag at the back says that everybody is where they need to be. Now the driver's focus is on the lights and on the start. The lights go red. Who is going to make the best getaway? Look for the rear-wheel drive cars as we go racing. Good start by Turkington. Good start also by Aidan Moffat. Jack Goff up the inside of Tom Ingram down towards Copse, but the Toyota hangs on to the advantage. Ingram, Goff, then Turkington, then Sutton. Morgan drops to 5th. Way out wide there is Rob Austin as Dave Newsham tries to get up the inside, and he goes 6th with Aidan Moffat right behind him. Up towards Beckett's for the first time. Turkington fending off the challenge of Sutton as they break for the corner. They turn in the same order, and there as Newsham goes wide, Moffat dives up the inside. Great move.
Super move by Moffat to slip past 2 cars at the same time there. But Ingram is getting that car away really well at the start. Superb start by Ingram. Perfect positioning. Turkington got a great start. So side by side, we've got Sutton and Morgan. Can Morgan hang on? Or can Sutton get across? No, Sutton can't. He has to give room. He can't afford damage, so Morgan keeps that position.
So now Sutton's in jeopardy because he didn't get past one Mercedes. He's got the other attacking. He can't afford to give away places, but as you're right to say, he can't afford damage either. So it's going to be a real test of him, this, to see how mature a driver he is. He's won more races than anybody in the championship this season, Ash Sutton. And at the end of lap 1, he's 5th over the timing line. The order: Ingram, Goff, Turkington. Morgan is 4th, Sutton 5th, Moffat runs 6th, 7th is Newsham, 8th Walton Eels, 9th is Epps, and 10th is Rob Austin. Lead gap was 0.4 of a second. Look at the battle pack for 3rd, all stacked up behind Turkington.
And remember, now that we have ballast on board, according to the finishing positions, the front cars don't tend to disappear. It'll be more of a concertina race.
Look at this, 3 abreast. Epps running with Austin, and Gordon Shedden is in there as well as they come now down towards the left-hander at Brooklands. Mike Epps to the inside line, and he's got ahead of Rob Austin. Gordon Shedden's on the outside line, and also looking to join that battle is Ollie Jackson as the race leaders now turn towards Luffield. Austin is sideways, possibly with a bit of help. On board with Shedden as they accelerate out of Luffield now. And turn their way through Woodcote. There is Rob Austin out of Woodcote corner over the timing line. Ingram is leading, but only just. Got off 2nd and lapping quicker. Turkington is 3rd, down towards Copse. Shedden on the inside line. Ollie Jackson tries to get around the outside, can't do it. Gordon Shedden is in 11th place going into Copse corner. Jackson was just fractionally ahead over the line. There for the race lead, they touch at Beckett. Goff goes through. Jack Goff dives up the inside and goes ahead of Tom Ingram. The slightly lighter Honda then takes over the race lead, but can Ingram fight back?
Well, Goff was already there at the inside when we saw them in the braking zone. Didn't see the action coming off Copse, but a great move. He held it down to the apex and got off the corner first. Look behind, though. This battle for 3rd is so close between Turkington, Morgan and Sutton. Now, this was what I wanted to see. The Exeter Copse, Ingram slightly wide, gets a wobble on it. Goff is already alongside him and has the inside for the corner, although Ingram tries to shut the door, but Goff is already there. The Eurotech guys really celebrating.
So on board with Shedden, he's trying to gain ground. He's in danger of losing out though because Rob Huff comes up to challenge on the outside. Shedden is 11th over the line. He's right on the tail of the Audi. There's somebody smoky in all of that as well. It's the Audi of Ollie Jackson turning through Copse corner. So Jackson's picked up some damage somewhere, hasn't he, on that right rear corner. Turkington is still 3rd. And the line of cars behind him is getting longer and longer and longer, taking down to 8th where Rob Austin is. And off the road, Aidan Moffat, he's got a problem, has he?
I think he just put his left front wheel on the grass and it sucked him off to the slippery part of the track.
And here, more fun and games at Brooklands. Who do we see getting involved this time? Andrew Jordan has a go to get past Stephen Jelly.
Well, that's pretty rough house. It was all going on in front of them. Look, cars abreast. Jordan looking to hold that inside. Jelly comes across. very difficult to call that one.
Jordan's in strife. Andrew Jordan has got damage by the look of it on the left rear corner. Let's see, he gets away again. That's at Luffield by the look of it. Has he got a puncture maybe?
Yeah, definitely a problem on the left rear. Luffield's been his difficult couple of laps for him, with Jelly on the last lap and now damage on the rear.
Replay from on board. Now, is there a whack that he gets somewhere? Let's find out.
Well, no, the car just lets go. He's already got the puncture. He's got the puncture on the left rear, so the car's just gone round.
So Andrew Jordan's rather disappointing day continues, as here, look, you've got Rob Austin up the inside of Dave Newsham. So he goes through, Rob Austin up into 6th, but can he hang on in there? Let's see. Yep, just on the inside line. They're both being caught, aren't they, by Gordon Shedden.
Yeah, it was a good move by Rob, though, cleanly up the inside. Oh, Matt Jackson's off now. Ah, disappointment. I don't know how Bob's got a smile on his face.
So there, looking back from Gordon Shedden's car, is Mike Epps through Woodcote. Behind them is Rob Huff into the top 10. Chris Smiley is 11th. There are lots of people here doing a good job of getting up the order, and it's a really different look, isn't it, to the leading positions. There is Rob Huff. Great to have him back in the championship. Wouldn't it be good if he could stay for a full season next year?
We'd love to see him, and as I said, he's making progress throughout these 3 races very quickly. You know, he shed the weight he had to carry in qualifying in the first race. He's now lapping very quickly, and he's up to 10th. He's in the top 10. It'd be great to see him get on the back of this group in front, because as a racer, there's nobody better.
And he could even get pole for the 3rd race, couldn't he, on the reversal, because he's in the top 10.
Good point.
How about that?
Would be fantastic, wouldn't it? But I just want to see him get on the back of this group.
Ash Sutton to the inside of Adam Morgan, and they run almost side by side, but again, Ash has to decide when to push and when to back out of it.
Well, if he stayed on the outside, Rob Austin would have shut the door, gone right up the gap there. So he knew he had to back out and close the door. And that's the problem with attacking and defending into Luffield at the same time.
So Ash Sutton here, trying to race, trying to stay with Turkington as best he can, and also having to work out when to hold or when to fold in terms of the cards that he has been dealt in this race. He's got Rob Austin looking for a way by. Now, yes, Ash could let him go, lose a few points, but keep out of trouble. But the danger is that you give away so many places, you drop further away. He can't give too many spots away. You open the door for one car to go by and a whole wave will charge through. So Ash Sutton here really is having a test of his mental capacity in this race, and he's rising to the occasion. He still runs big and he's still banking points.
Yeah, and Huff is catching them. He's definitely catching them. The car's body language and that Power Max Chevrolet is really aggressive. And we gather that Moffat did have a broken drive shaft, so as I suspected, that's why the car suddenly shot left as he lost drive from the left-hand side, off onto the slippery grass, and had to retire.
The lead gap is going up between Goff and Ingram, but have a look at the margin now, 2nd to 3rd, because Tom Ingram is being caught a little bit, it seems, by Turkington, who has just done a personal best lap, taking Adam Morgan with him. So 2nd and 3rd are starting to get closer. And of course, it's not just Turkington closing on Ingram, it's this whole line of cars back to nearly 10th place now.
Yeah, but Huff was 0.3 of a second quicker than that group in front. Watch the car as it brakes, the one at the back. Look at it, squirreling around as Huff just absolutely brakes on the limit whilst turning the car.
He's not a World Touring Car champion for nothing, is he? He's done quite a bit of GT racing as well at the Nürburgring 24 Hours, and this the 4th Touring Car Championship he's raced in this year. He's now done the British, the Chinese, the World, and the International TCR Series as well, as Adam Morgan fends off Ash Sutton, who has a look to the outside. That'll be the inside line for Luffield. Door closes, so he can't find a way through there. Newsham is still fending off Shedden, who is still fending off Epps, who is about to be joined by Rob Huff, who of course carried weight in the first race, has got rid of that, so he's got a light and a quick car.
Yeah, and he's driving it very well, of course. A lot of these drivers were racing at Goodwood at the Revival meeting last weekend, and Rob Huff was very much in the thick of it, as well as Andy Jordan, Matt Neal, Gordon Shedden, Matt Jackson, all competing down at Goodwood last weekend.
And on aggregate, Jason Plato was the St Mary's Trophy Touring Car race winner. He didn't win his part of the race, but on aggregate times, the 2 parts, it was him and Nick Naismith that won. Jason, at the moment, he's trying to work his way up from currently 17th. Right, Huff has joined Epps. Epps is still on the back of Shedden. Shedden is right with Newsham. So this line is 3rd down to 10th. And What happens in this is going to be absolutely crucial for the grid going into the final race.
Yep, between 6th and 10th will be a reverse grid. If you're in 6th, you're guaranteed to be somewhere near the front. Anything below that, it's the luck of the draw.
So we are on lap 15, about to come to the end of it as off the road goes Ant Wharton Eels after that great qualifying, good first race. He's getting elbowed back down the pack. He joins in alongside Stuart Lyons as over the timing line now comes second and third. Jack Goff is 3 seconds clear as Ash Sutton gets up the inside of Adam Morgan and he goes through on the inside at Copse and that gives him 4th place. He's bided his time, he's sat there, he's finally made the move. Morgan has to defend against Rob Austin. There's contact, Austin's off the road and back on again. Whoa, that was close.
Well, you asked about Ash Sutton's maturity, and he had the maturity to wait, didn't he? And wait for an opportunity that was going to cleanly get him through, and he has got through, and he's immediately put a little gap on Morgan. But that was a scary moment for Austin on the grass there. Good
to see Rob running up in that leading group now for 2nd place here. Turkington is looking for a way past Ingram. There's not that much to choose in terms of weight between Goff leading and Ingram in 2nd. It does make you wonder whether there has been a knock to the geometry of the car in that clash up at Becky's, because certainly since then Ingram has dropped away. He's also, of course, on the option tyre, don't forget. Now this, looking back from Gordon Shedden's car, is Epps making a mistake and Huff going 9th.
Immediately, no second invitation required. But also remember, oh, that was Wharton Eels having his big spin. Wow. And that could so easily have been a repeat of the Collard situation where he comes back across the track. But remember, Ingram is also on the hard tyre, yes, and that will be a penalty at this stage of the race.
Turkington's on it as well, and he is caught right up. Front-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. Fascinating fight between the two then here. So Tom Ingram, who is still looking for a place maybe in the top 3 in the championship overall by the end of the season, as well as winning the independents, is fending off Turkington for the moment. We're on lap 17 of 22. Ingram defends against a double champion as they come into Brooklands this time, all of which is enabling Jack Goff to get away.
And of course, Turkington is going to want this place because it's another car between him and Sutton to gain a few more points. He will have already looked in his mirror and thought, oh God, Sutton's got past Morgan. Now, what do I have to do?
And he wants to get past Ingram while there's a bit of a gap as well. So it's going to take longer for Ash Sutton to close up. Looking back now from Gordon Shedden, he is ahead of Dave Newsham, and this is how he did it.
Well, it looks like he got a much better exit from Beckett's.
To Beckett's they come. Rob Austin still wanting another place. Shedden right there behind him. Dave Newsham keeping Rob Huff at bay. Out of Beckett's comes Adam Morgan, a little bit wider than the Toyota behind. And Gordon Shedden still a bit trapped there. Can't yet find a way up one further place. And he's running out of laps, of course, because this is lap 20 of 22. 2 to run at the end of this. Right, Sutton's caught back up to Turkington. Morgan is still making the Mercedes wide enough to keep the Toyota of Rob Austin at bay. Behind him is Gordon Shedden, and Jack Goff is now 4 seconds ahead. Absolutely dominant up front.
How Shedden would love to get a reverse grid pole. Remember, he won the 3rd race here last year, and that gave him some crucial points going into Brands Hatch, and he would desperately need, at least in one of these 3 races, to finish in front of Turkington and Sutton.
Keep those hopes alive going into the last 3 races at Brands Hatch. We've got one more to come at Silverstone late afternoon here. Tom Ingram is still 2nd. Turkington and Sutton run 3rd and 4th. Turkington thinks about the inside line. Sutton has a look on the outside, so Turkington's trying to attack, he's trying to defend. Tom Ingram is hanging on for that 2nd spot. Behind, Rob Austin is still challenging Adam Morgan. Now, does Turkington make a move? Yes, he does. Does Ingram let them go? Well, he's on the outside line. He's not going to let them go at all, because although Turkington has a look, Ingram moves back across and claims the line into Brooklands. And here comes Sutton to the outside, but no, gets a face full of Turkington. Changes sides up towards Luffield. Colin Turkington is up the curve, and Ash Sutton is right there just waiting for the opportunity.
Sutton has the quickest car of the 3 for sure. He closed the gap down very quickly. There was quite a gap between him and Turkington when he first got past Morgan, so he's closed that gap down very quickly. Remember, he's on the prime tyre, which should be the better one. Jack Goff, no need to run out wide, Jack. You've got plenty of space behind. So, side by side, Morgan and and Austin.
And Rob Austin's going to capitalise on Morgan going wide. He's need to gain the place. That is for 5th, heading up towards Beckett. Ingram, he saw the Speedworks team cheering him on a moment ago. He's still 2nd. Jack Goff is leading by nearly 5 seconds. Austin is through. He's ahead of Adam Morgan. And now Gordon Shedden comes up to attack as well. So this now becomes the fight for 6th place as they head down towards the left of Brooklands. It's still Ingram hanging on to 2nd. It's still Turkington 3rd. And here comes Sutton round the outside. That's brave stuff. Turkington is not going to give way. But here comes Sutton at the inside and they touch. And Ash Sutton finds a way through. Elbows out, he's got his nose in front. Ash Sutton does go through up to 3rd place. There's the race winner. Jack Goff wins for Eurotech for Jeff Smith's team. A great drive. Tom Ingram is 2nd, and Ash Sutton gets his elbows out at the very end to take 3rd place from Colin Turkington. Jack Goff wins round 26 at Silverstone from Tom Ingram and Ash Sutton. Colin Turkington bumped down to 4th at the end ahead of Rob Austin. Adam Morgan 6th from Gordon Shedden, Rob Huff, Dave Newsham and Mike Epps in 10th place. So for the championship, it's still 12 points. It had come down to 10, it's crept back up to 12. Sutton to Turkington with Gordon Shedden in 3rd. Tom Ingram is up now into 4th ahead of Rob Collard. Jack Goff up to 6th ahead of Matt Neal and Andrew Jordan. Adam Morgan is 9th and it is Matt Jackson to round out the top 10. At BTC Norlin then, they are ready and they're in good voice as well as the guys look on with Dave Newsham on pole position, former Clio champion, touring car race winner on pole position. We are set for round 27 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship from Silverstone, and it is go, and a good start is made by Huff. Lots of wheel spin from Dave Newsham, so Huff gets up the inside. Gordon Shedden tries to defend from Adam Morgan. Turkington goes to the inside as well. Huff leads, Newsham 2nd. Austin round the outside for 3rd, and there's a nudge, is there? He's sideways, he's way off the road. That delays Shedden as well. Morgan is past him, Turkington is past him. Mike Epps goes through. Tom Ingram gets by as well. Was there a nudge between the two? Either way, Rob Austin was certainly sent way, way wide and drops down the order.
There was definitely contact between Shedden and Austin. Usual first corner bunching, but Shedden got through that but lost a great opportunity. He could have been in 3rd place.
So let's see, he's going to drop to what, 6th, maybe worse, as Rob Huff leads. Dave Newsham is 2nd. Adam Morgan 3rd, being encouraged along by Tom Ingram and more sideways. That's Turkington getting it all crossed up and losing place after place after place. He heads into midfield, he's losing more ground, he's getting roughed up now as well. So Turkington is the one in strife at the end of the lap. Andrew Jordan goes round the outside of him. So Turkington might be ahead of Sutton, but only just. And suddenly that demon opportunity to score massive more points has just got away.
Well, this was the other possibility that nobody considered. Everybody assumed Turkington would have a good race from the front, but this was always a possibility. Reverse grid race means that Turkington could have problems, and he actually crosses the line in 21st place with Sutton in 26th.
So he has fallen right down the order. Rob Huff leads, Dave Newsham is 2nd, Adam Morgan is 3rd, Ingram 4th, 5th Epps, 6th Shedden. So he got away, yes, with a loss of place, but it could have been worse. 7th is Chris Smiley, 8th Jack Goff, 9th Matt Neal, 10th is Rob Austin after his big, big slide. Now, has Colin Turkington got damage? Has he got a problem because he's losing more and more places? He's certainly struggling as Gordon Shedden now starts to squabble with Michael Epps. There is Turkington. He, as Tim said, was 21st at the end of lap 1. Can he get himself back up the order?
Well, the car looks intact, doesn't it? But Senna Proctor going around the outside. Oh, there's been more contact. Oh, and Turkington straight into it.
It's Jason Plato, it is Stephen Jelly, it's one of the Audis, which I think is Ollie Jackson, and Colin Turkington with damage is still going as Jake Hill clocked for some as well. He has. This could well be a safety car with cars littering the circuit coming out of Luffield, but there'd been an incident. Turkington had nowhere to go, and so now on lap 3, the safety car is on standby. Safety car is deployed. Safety car will be required. So, lights out on top of the safety car. They're all bunching up. Rob Huff versus Dave Newsham. Tom Ingram is there in 3rd place. Gordon Shedden is 6th. Colin Turkington is 25th, but a lap down. He needs a lot of people to retire to get into the points. But it could happen. It is race 3. And look at what's happened already. So, Don't rule him out just yet. It is a very, very tall order, I'll grant you. But here we go. We're about to go racing once more. At the end of lap 8, the race distance will be extended because of the safety car period. And up towards the line comes Rob Huff. Dave Newsham behind him. Tom Ingram is third. And Rob Huff has got the start, hasn't he? He pulls away from Newsham. Starts to weave around to try and dissuade Dave from attacking. Down towards Copse Corner they come. Newsham is second and Ingram gets up the inside and dives through.
Wow, that was a good move. Huff did a very different restart to the one we saw Ingram do. He waited till he was round Luffield before he went, but Ingram was absolutely ready and pounced, didn't he?
Indeed so. Through Beckett's then, as the field now sprints onto Wellington Straight. Gordon Shedden trying to make progress. Mike Epps is fifth, just up the road ahead of him. We're up to 25 laps now because of the safety car period, and it is Tom Ingram in second position as there. Chris Smiley, he's battling with Matt Neal in the second of the Chevrolets. Chris Smiley, the second of the Works Hondas. Matt Neal, Shedden looks for a way round the outside of Mike Epps, can't do it. Up now towards Luffield, so Huff lead, but Tom Ingram is right on his tail. Could Ingram bag a second win of the day here? With Dave Newsham third defending, that's starting to create the bottleneck a little bit and allowing the top two to just edge away slightly.
And remember, Ingram is on the prime tyre. He's not on the harder tyre, so he's going to be very quick, even with 66 kilos on.
So Rob Huff accelerates now with 21 kilos of weight on board up towards Beckett, but he's got Tom Ingram climbing all over the back of him. Dave Newsham it is that runs third. Adam Morgan is fourth as they break for Beckett. Epps is next fifth. Gordon Shedden sixth. Smiley seventh. Best show we've had from Chris in the BTCC. Eighth Matt Neal. Ninth Jack Goff, winner earlier on. 10th Rob Austin recovering after the incident at the first corner. But the two leaders are nose to tail. Can Tom Ingram make a move this time? He goes to the outside line. This is going to be fascinating, isn't it? One of the up-and-coming stars of the British Championship against a man who is a world champion in a touring car.
Yeah, it's a great battle, isn't it? But Rob Huff has so much racecraft, so much experience that he will know where to place his car, but he won't know particularly how the car's going to work on this hard tyre over the race distance. He's never done it before.
They go through with 10 laps in the book, 0.163 of a second between them. Ingram right on the tail of Huff, who's going to make that Vauxhall Astra very wide indeed. Fastest lap of the race, by the way, Jake Hill. Don't forget, there are points for the fastest lap, there are points for leading a lap that all become crucial at the end of the season. Nose to tail, the two race leaders, and look at this long line of cars for third place. Dave Newsham is hanging on in there.
Shedden was out massively wide at Copse, and in fact, Neal is right up alongside him. Neal is threatening to overtake. I thought Neal was going to help his teammate.
Almost side by side, Ingram having a look to the outside there as they come through. Matt Neal staying ahead of Gordon Shedden for the moment as they drop down towards Brooklands. Got the top two then as one. Rob Huff leading the way. Tom Ingram crawling all over the back of him, and Adam Morgan gets up the inside of Dave Newsham. He's at the curb. The Mercedes tries to level with the Chevrolet. Adam Morgan will go through, I think, on the inside, heading into Woodcote. Newsham is not going to give up without a fight, though, as they come past the pits down to Copse now. Morgan's got the inside line for the corner. Mike Epps thinks about having a go as well. He gets it up the inside. Morgan goes ahead of Newsham. That's the change for third. And Epps still runs fifth, as now Shedden is way wide.
Shedden out wide again. Look, Matt Neal has passed Shedden. Shedden must have some problem because Matt Neal's gone past and immediately pulled away. 2 laps on the trot. Shedden has run very wide. Remember, he had that contact with Austin. Is there damage to the left front which is affecting his performance because he's not going forward?
Ash Sutton, by the way, is into 19th. Aidan Moffat 18th. They're not yet in the points, but they're heading up the order. Turkington still mired down in 24th, a lap adrift as now Matt Neal attacks Mike Epps. Here are the two race leaders. Could we get Adam Morgan up with them, or is he going to be busy defending again from Newsham? Lap 12 at 25, out of Luffield. Rob Huff it is who leads the way, but Tom Ingram could barely be much closer, could he?
No, he's getting a listen. This is Neal coming past Shedden, coming down the straight, and Neal just breezes past, doesn't he? No hint of protecting the rear there for Shedden.
So Matt Neal now tries to attack, doesn't he, further up the order. Look at this for the race lead, though. Rob Huff just ahead of Ingram, who tries a wider approach into Beckett. Can he get up the inside?
He's trying to get a better exit by turning in a little bit later just to carry a bit more momentum onto the Wellington straight. The Toyota is a quick car down the straight. They both have the same engines in, so both running the same boost, but of course a hatchback car is more draggy as Newsham looks again at the inside. Oh, hello, have you seen this before today? Someone going down the outside, but this time Neil backs out of it.
So Matt Neal's attacking Dave Newsham, who is right on the tail at the moment of Adam Morgan. He's lost the place, but he wants to try to fight back as they head up towards the line. Matt Neal with the lights on, trying to distract Newsham. Is he going to be able to make a move at the top? The two leaders come through. The gap is 0.217 of a second between them. That's all. Adam Morgan third, trying to shake off Newsham and go after the top two. What does Ingram try next? The two of them tied together as they come out of Copse. Ingram looks for a gap, two wheels on the grass. He keeps on coming. He's going to have a go. Is he on the inside line for Beckett's? Rob Huff moves across. Ingram's on the grass. It's all going to go horribly wrong at this rate for both of them as Morgan tries to get up the inside. Huff goes back into the lead. Morgan will take second. Here comes Matt Neal up the inside. Ingram's got a whole load of grass in the front scoop on the car.
Well, I mean, he probably should have backed out of it when he was on the grass, but I think he'd been so patient. But the problem now is he's going to have an overheating engine if blocking the radiator. Not so bad if it's blocking the rads, but I think it's going to the brakes cooling ducts, but I think it's blocking the radiator.
And Matt Neal is right there behind him, trying to prise open the door. So it's Rob Huff leading now from Adam Morgan, who's not had a win this season. We've had 11 different winners. Can we have a 12th? Matt Neal has had a win. He's up to third in the expense of Tom Ingram now. Down towards Copse corner, Rob Huff still leads the way. We've done 14 laps. Matt Neal goes ahead of Tom Ingram. Dave Newsham tries to find a way through as well here. Very wide in the background is Jack Goff, but it's still Rob Huff leading away as now Newsham goes ahead of Ingram, who is starting to struggle, and that is headed off the road.
He could take his teammate out.
Comes across the circuit, and amazingly, this time nobody manages to make contact. Mike Epps was the one who came closest, and there, as they come on to Wellington Straight, is the best moment of the day in a sense that no contact came out of a frightening situation. But Shedden will lose more places as a result of all of that, so his race goes from bad to worse. There may have been a bit of a nudge. We'll try and piece it all together in a moment, as after all of that drama, here they come up towards the end of the lap. It is now 3 for the lead. Huff, Morgan, Matt Neal.
Wow, there's been so much in this race, but that was nearly a repeat of the incident from earlier, wasn't it? Oh, there was a touch with Rob Austin and Shedden. Remember, they came together in the first corner. So was that a bit of retaliation? I don't know. But wow, so close to another major incident.
Right, this is your lead battle. 3 of them, Huff, Morgan, Neal. Rob Huff it is, first time out in the championship for well over a decade, and he leads the way. But now Matt Neal attacks for second place. Matt Neal versus Rob Huff towards the end is going to be fascinating as well, because Matt does go second then. He moves ahead of Adam Morgan, and Matt Neal is absolutely storming up the order, isn't he, here? So what can he do about Rob Huff?
Well, Matt Neal's got 0 ballast on board. He's got the prime tyre, the softer of the two. You know, you'd put all your money on him winning this race, wouldn't you?
Lower down the order, Andrew Jordan's trying to make progress, and he's up to 9th, and the next target is Chris Smiley here. This is on Wellington Straight. BMW takes on the Chevrolet, but loses out in a straight line to the recovering Mike Epps, in fact, in the slippery shaped Volkswagen, who gets up the inside, but Jordan brakes late on the outside.
Yeah, look, they're just getting together. Touching. Oh, that was a useful little touch, wasn't it? Just tap the back and then take both of them out.
Right, in other news, Senna Proctor has now done the fastest lap of the race. Ash Sutton is 16th. He's 1 place away from the points, and Matt Neal is now crawling all over the back of Rob Huff for the race lead. We're on lap 17 of 25. Rob is going to have to work very hard to hang on to the very end, but it is possible. So here you've got 2 touring car champions running as one, and Rob Huff for Power Max Racing leads the way. Second is Matt Neal. Adam Morgan is 3rd, and then there's a small gap back to Dave Newsham 4th. Tom Ingram is 5th, and Rob Austin now up behind him.
Well, in actual fact, Matt Neal and Rob Huff have raced against each other for only 1 season in 2004, but Matt Neal commentates on the World Touring Car Championship, and he's seen Rob Huff racing that for many years, so he knows all his moves.
So now he's seeing them from a rather different perspective, isn't he? Staring at the back of the Huff-driven car, up towards Beckett's they come. Rob Huff covers the line, turns into the corner. It's Vauxhall versus Honda, Huff versus Neil, and Matt Neil is being warned about track limits. The man in second place will have the warning flag this time for track limits. Huff leading, Neil second, Morgan third. Then Dave Newsham is fourth, Ingram is still fifth, Rob Austin sixth, seventh is Jack Goff, eighth is Chris Smiley, Andrew Jordan ninth, 10th Mike Epps after the scary hand up at Beckett. So as I said, there's the confirmation. It'll be this time the warning flag about track limits for that man in second place, Matt Neil.
Well, you sort of get to this stage of the day, don't you? And you sort of don't care, and sometimes you just make too many mistakes with track limits. Matt's got a very fast car underneath him. He doesn't need to be using track limits. An update on Shedden, he's out of the points in 21st position, and dare I say it, that means he's out of the championship, really and truly. Albeit the others aren't scoring many points, with Turkington circulating in 22nd, and ironically, it's Sutton, the man that started at the back, that is just got into the points in 15th place.
He's just gained that place, hasn't he, on the last lap? So as you look at the leaders, Ash Sutton wanted to get into the top 15, that's what he said on the grid, and he has got there now, as Rob Huff still leads. We're on lap 19 of 25, and Matt Neil again challenges, and here comes Dave Newsham for third in the background, tries to get up the inside of Morgan. Wasn't quite a Chevrolet-sized gap, but that's not going to deter him from challenging at Luffield, because he almost went to the inside there. Ingram, I think, has shaken out most of the grass. He's still there in 5th place, trying to regroup and gain ground once more. Up towards the line they come, and Dave Newsham goes back ahead of Adam Morgan. Newsham for the podium is still a real possibility. He's got the inside line all the way past the pits as Matt Neil jinks out, has a look and pulls back in again. That was for the lead for third. Morgan versus Newsham, and Dave Newsham is on the inside, and he should go through here.
Well, what's Ingram going to do? Ingram could get both of them.
Dave Newsham's ahead of Morgan, but Ingram will be on the inside line for Beckett. They get to the braking area. He's going to scrabble up the inside. Dave Newsham tries to turn across. So Newsham is third. Ingram's back up to fourth. Adam Morgan's the one that drops back now to fifth. And don't rule out Rob Austin as well, because he is on the prime rather than the option harder tyre as well. So Rob Austin's pace is good, and he's ahead of Morgan. He's on the outside line down towards Brooklands. Where to look next? It's Rob Austin, look, on the outside line, but Adam Morgan just gets his nose back in front as they come through the corner.
Well, I'm amazed that Ingram's car didn't overheat, and I'm glad it didn't, because he deserved a result out of this race. And he is fighting really hard to get back up into podium position.
There are so many, for want of a better phrase, deserving causes in this, aren't there, that you all want to be on the podium. But wouldn't it be great to see Power Max Racing have a first victory? Rob Huff leads the way. And what's going on for third? It's still Dave Newsham just ahead. And here comes Matt Neil for the race lead. He's going to get through on the outside. Is he at Magnus? That'll be the inside line for Beckett. Matt Neil breaks late, and Matt Neil should and does take the race lead on lap 21 up at Beckett's.
Well, perseverance paid off. He just had to wait until he had enough grip to get an overlap through Copse to give him that inside run into Beckett's. He's managed to do it, unsurprisingly, with zero weight and the prime tyre on a car as good as the Honda.
Now, what about third place? Last podium finish. Dave Newsham has that at the moment from Ingram. There is Chris Smiley, who is 8th. And he's got Andrew Jordan up behind him. So both of the Chevrolets going really strongly in this race. But Jordan, too, has made great progress. Don't forget, he started 26th and he's running 9th.
What about championship leader Ash Sutton? We've seen nothing of him in this race, but he's actually in 12th place. He's still going forwards.
Carving his way forward, so this is going to be great, isn't it, going towards Brands Hatch. The one that doesn't share that sentiment is Colin Turkington, as you say earlier, 22nd and out of the points, and still with the fastest lap of the race, point to his credit, is Senna Proctor. There is Sutton, he goes through Copse, and Powell's now in 11th place. He's just got ahead of Mike Epps, so further up the order, more points.
And of course, he would have been told absolutely, if he didn't see it himself, that Shedden and Turkington are out of the points. So he will know that, nothing to risk. He's eking out a little advantage in this race.
At what point does he stop pushing and just settle for the position, though? Because we saw even on the last lap of that second race, and he said it before this race, he's a racer. The instinct is to go for it. Yeah, but he did realise that maybe it had been a step too far. What he can see, though, is that Jackson is a very hard man to pass, always has been, and the gap in front of him to the next car's a couple of seconds down the road, so he's not going to get anywhere. So he's just got to be, you know, if the opportunity arises, take it safely, but otherwise take the position and the points. He's not going to go much further on with only a couple of laps to go. Matt Neal then leads the way, and having finally got past Rob Huff, and plenty have tried and failed in this race, he's now nearly a full second ahead. There for second, third and fourth, Huff, Newsham and Ingram. It's Rob Austin fifth, Adam Morgan sixth, sort of yo-yoing up and down the order. Chris Smiley is still seventh. Andrew Jordan's eighth, Jack Goff ninth, and Matt Jackson in 10th place. This is lap 23 of 25. What a race it's turned out to be.
An incredible race. A typical reverse grid Silverstone National Circuit race. Absolutely fantastic.
So Chris Smiley there, heading for his best finish in the championship. Matt Neal potentially on for a second victory. And Rob Huff on the podium, having led the bulk of the race. What a return to the championship. Tom Chilton, of course, will be back in the car for Brands Hatch, but whether we see Rob Huff again next season, but it will be great, but we don't know for sure. Over the timing line goes Matt Neal. He's now done 23 laps. His advantage, 1.2 seconds. Rob Huff second. Can Dave Newsham close on him before the end? Because last time Newsham was fractionally quicker.
Yeah, he was. In fact, only 4 cars in the 59. Sutton was one of them. Jackson was one of them. Neal was one of them. So they're still lapping fast.
In the background there, running currently in 9th spot. So Matt Neal it is who leads the way. Matt had good results at the start of the season, including a win, and then it all started to unravel, didn't it, with the Donington red flag when he couldn't take part in the restart. More dramas with problems at Thruxton, and although Matt has been there or thereabouts in races, it's been a difficult and a disappointing season. So a win here would be a very, very good result for Matt, and he's almost there now because he comes through to complete 24 laps. He will come over the timing line any moment. There he is. The advantage was 1.2 seconds. It's now 1.3, but it's only 6/10. Huff to Newsham. Ingram versus Austin is still raging on for 4th place. Have a look in the background, the two Toyotas together, and they're all running wide out of Cox.
Well, every single car behind Matt Neal. They don't care on the final lap. You can't get penalised after the final lap. Let's just go for it.
Everybody in the BTC Northern pit bunker urging on Dave Newsham, who's trying to attack Rob Huff, and he's trying to fend off as well the challenge of Tom Ingram. So Matt Neal it is who leads the way. Can he take a second victory of the season as he comes down towards Brooklands? Dave Newsham has a last look, does he, to get past Huff? Can't do it there. But Newsham for the podium. He's had an independence win this year. 3rd place would still be a cracking result. Ingram is 4th. But Matt Neal it is who is going to come through out of Luffield up towards the checkered flag. Rob Huff is behind him, but it's going to be the Holford Tuatha Racing Honda of Matt Neal, which wins at Silverstone. Checkered flag is waved. Matt Neal wins. Rob Huff second, and Dave Newsham third. Ingram is 4th. Austin 5th. Morgan 6th. Smiley 7th ahead of Jordan. What a drive. 9th for Goff and 10th for Matt Jackson. So Matt Neal it is who wins at Silverstone in round 27 from Rob Huff second and Dave Newsham third. Tom Ingram 4th, Rob Austin 5th and Adam Morgan 6th ahead of Chris Smiley. 7th, Andrew Jordan 8th, having started 26th. 9th, Jack Goff, and Matt Jackson takes 10th place. 10 points we're back to as the championship lead for Ash Sutton going to the last 3 races at Brands Hatch. Gordon Shedden 3rd behind Colin Turkington. Tom Ingram is 4th ahead of Rob Collard, who's had to miss, of course, 2 races today. 6th is Jack Goff ahead of Matt Neal 7th. Andrew Jordan's 8th ahead of Adam Morgan. And it's Matt Jackson in 10th place.
Coming up after the break, we return to Sydney Motorsport Park as the Supersports and Amsport 600s do battle as part of the final round of the Swan Super Series.